Hello, and welcome to the Week 3 Leadership Plan presentation for Team 78. The team members include Maria Davis, Michael Doctor, Matt Shue, Michael Pearce, and Liberty Stansberry. The Carbon Peak case study was about Peterson Sporting Goods. The sporting goods company was founded by brothers John and Frank Peterson in 1951. They specialized in developing and selling high-quality outdoor products for the outdoor enthusiast. Peterson Sporting Goods experienced tremendous growth throughout the company's history. However, that growth did not come without many challenges. The company and its leadership faced many hurdles such as leadership transitions, expansion, supply chain, manufacturing, and even the COVID pandemic. In this presentation, the team will be covering alignment of people, resources, and performance to achieve goals and strategies, the role leadership plays in the alignment process, the vision of leaders and how it pertains to developing a strategic plan, a recommended approach to guide the company through the planning process to achieve the company's vision and mission, the role leadership plays in assessing and balancing company growth, employees, customers, and profits, and what the overall goal of a leader is through the alignment process.
So what is the best way to align people and resources toward common goals? A leader must align people by getting everyone on board and working together towards a common goal. According to Kouzes and Posner, this can be achieved through fostering collaboration and strengthening others. A leader must rely on the support of other people because leadership is a team effort and not a solo endeavor. In evaluating processes and resources, if the right skills are not present, a leader will need to consider training and/or hiring new talent. Challenging existing processes entails asking questions and listening to feedback. An example of this in the Carbon Peak case was during the company's hyper-growth of the 80s and 90s, where leadership was able to focus their teams on organizational learning that enabled the company to train and retain employees, and they collaborated with employees to solve technical and organizational problems. And finally, building a culture that is open to change is paramount to the success of strategy implementation. In doing so, a leader must build standards that are clear and measurable to guide people through change management. The role of a leader is to achieve organizational alignment to successfully implement the organization's mission and vision. According to Kouzes and Posner, to achieve alignment, a leader must take action to enable others to act. Successful leaders will foster collaboration and will strengthen others. Fostering collaboration can be achieved through strengthening work relationships and ensuring that the supporting processes and tools needed to implement the company's mission are in place. Strengthening others entails empowering them to act independently. This can be accomplished by developing people's competencies and confidence through formal and informal training and coaching. An example of this in the Carbon Peak case can be found in the way that the company founders broadened their core values to empower teams to solve the many problems that were brought on by the economic upheaval of that time. In summary, collaboration strengthens teams. This fosters trust in leadership, which enables influence and progress towards common goals.
Thanks, Maria. Once we have that high-level vision set, that North Star for the organization, then we're going to look at taking that vision and making a plan to actually execute on it. We're going to talk about the mission and objectives, like where are we now, what are we trying to do in the midterm or the short term, and then the strategy on how to achieve those goals on the mission and the objectives. And then after that, we're going to work into the approach. How do we tactically do this? On the next slide, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these topics. Now that we have our vision and mission, let's talk about the objectives for Carbon Peak. You can see services, that's educational seminars, classes, that sort of thing, getting people used to the equipment, getting them used to the outdoors. Experiences, we're going to guide snowshoeing trips or cross-country skiing or hiking trips to make sure that people have a great experience in the outdoors that may not be used to the outdoors and they might be new to it. Outdoors as a service, that's really try before you buy in simple terms. Hey, I'm new to backpacking. I don't want to spend $1,000 on all the equipment. Let me rent it for a weekend. Let me sign up for one of your classes, go on one of your experiences. And hey, if I have a great time because you've provided a great experience for me, I'm going to buy that because I want to do more of this. And finally, COVID. COVID is really an opportunity and a threat. So they got through COVID. Now it's really grabbing a hold of those 20% of new customers and engaging in them in the brand to make sure that they stick with the brand even after COVID's done because they enjoy the outdoors. How are we going to do this? We're going to need to look at the people. We're going to need to make sure that they have training. Maybe a seller on the floor isn't used to teaching classes, and so we're going to need to train them on how to do that. We're going to make sure that they're organized correctly so that there's cross-pollination between the groups. We're going to make sure that they have the technology in place so that the POS knows how to do rentals rather than purchases. And then we're going to have to make sure that they're organized correctly so that the teams are running as a tight ship. So really, at this level, it's aligning those people, those resources to achieve those objectives.
A leader's responsibilities have no end, really. First, a leader's role is to engage in work that creates value for the organization. Value can be created in the form of revenue generation, innovation, operations management, or it can be growth-oriented. A leader's focus should be on contributing to the achievement of the company's goals, mission, and vision. Leaders set the standard and tone for the organization and for their teams, as we heard in Professor Wade's video. A leader's ability to align teams to a shared vision is critical to their success. Navigating through large-scale changes, such as getting behind a branding change or in developing a new product, similar to Carbon Peak's journey through maintaining solvency in COVID-19, is no easy task. Their ability to communicate a vision clearly and confidently is imperative for shared goal alignment. We saw a good example of this in the article Tipping Point Leadership, when William Bratton broke through the NYPD's cognitive hurdles to reduce crime across the city. Of course, no company's goals will be achieved without a dedicated team who believes in the vision. Teams, not leaders, actually achieve company goals through the work they do daily. Leaders must be talent stewards as well through hiring, engaging, and retaining the right people at the right time and the right cost investment. A company's structure, processes, systems, and budgets must be aligned in support of achieving company goals. Systems and processes must be evaluated and evolved over time to ensure efficiencies and ongoing improvements. Measuring outputs and quality of products and soliciting customer feedback are critical. Carbon Peak leveraged customer feedback heavily over the years to improve their products, and this is one of the organizational strengths they should continue. Measuring customer satisfaction through surveys, feedback, and other data can be very useful in this effort. Leaders must engage their teams by creating a strong culture, leading by example, and rewarding and recognizing the right behaviors.
Well, thank you, Liberty. Now that we've talked about alignment, mission and vision, and how to assess and balance the needs of a corporation, we ask ourselves, what is the overall goal of a leader? And our team agrees that the ultimate goal of a leader is to inspire a shared vision. And we've discovered in our research that people actually expect leaders to be forward-looking and focus on desired outcomes, a vision of the future rather than the present reality. But employees don't only want leaders to be thinking about the future, they actually want our leaders to inspire that vision of the future. And leaders who inspire, they've explored their past, they know themselves, they've immersed themselves in the subject matter that's relevant to their vision. They listen deeply to others and discover a common purpose by showing others how their long-term interests can be realized. Every step of the way, the leaders at Carbon Peak demonstrated these traits. When John and Frank started the company in 1951, they found their theme. And during the economic upheaval of the 1970s, they immersed themselves in the problem and came up with a solution that worked. In the 1980s, they inspired a 20-year vision of expansion that took them into the next millennium. Then, Bill and Heather, they explored their past and developed a common purpose when they rebranded the company in 2018. Again, during the 2020 pandemic, they immersed themselves in the problem and listened deeply to their customers and employees and discovered that people were getting outdoors more than ever during the pandemic, and that resulted in a 20% growth during a time of crisis. In the end, inspiring a shared vision is not an empty platitude. It's what we expect from our leaders. Breathing life into a vision and generating the momentum to move a company forward is, in the end, what turns an idea into reality. Thank you.